Hey folks, Sammy Gonzalez here with Mexcellence.com, and on today in Mexcellence, I want to talk about an upcoming show called Bordertown. Bordertown is a new animated series brought to you by Mark Henneman and Seth Macfarlane, the creators and producers of Family Guy. The show takes place in the fictitious town of Mexifornia, where we focus on the two main characters, Bud Buchwald and Ernesto Gonzalez. No relation. Bud is a border patrol agent living with his wife Janice and his three kids, Becky, Sanford, and Gert. His neighbor Ernesto lives with his wife Maria, their son Ruiz, and his 21-year-old nephew JC, who is a recent college graduate. Now, if you haven't heard of the show yet, I'm going to put together the highlights of the trailer just so you can get the gist of it.
We've got a Native American, an Asian couple, and I even managed to find a white guy.
Is that some kind of insult? We're still in charge. We still have the vice presidency.
We got burritos, quesadillas, tacos.
God, these people have no idea what it's like to have foreigners ruin their country.
Spring break! I'm not paying for that.
If you were born here, who won the WNBA championship last year?
The Phoenix Mercury?
No American would know that. You're coming with me.
Light the deportation cannon!
Now, I know what your first reaction might be, and it's probably this.
That's racist!
However, you have to look a little bit deeper to uncover what could be a very brilliant show. Now, what makes me say this is the inclusion of a few notable Mexican writers, cartoonists, and satirists who've had a significant influence on the development of the show. Two of the most prominent being Gustavo Arellano, publisher of OC Weekly and the author of the nationally syndicated column Ask a Mexican, and Lalo Alcaraz, the author of what is considered one of the most controversial comics in the history of the US, La Cucaracha. With this selection of Latino talent, this could be a very influential show in terms of some of the subject matter it can cover. In a Facebook comment, Lalo hinted that they would be covering narcos, over-medicating of children, immigration, sexism, and even being a pocho. One clip I saw, which included JC, the recent college graduate, hit me a little too close to home. Here it is.
You need leads on a job?
How can I get a job when monsters are trying to pass this immigration law?
You're right. That's unfair of me. You should wait until all the problems of the world are solved.
Thank you.
However, there are a few things that could lead to the downfall of the show, and I think the marketing is going to be one of them. I honestly think there's a bit of fatigue when it comes to Seth MacFarlane cartoons. You know, with Family Guy in its 15-year run, we have American Dad, and the bust that was the Cleveland show. Also in the trailer, there's a lot of easy Mexican stereotypes and a lot of redneck jokes, and I think that's going to scare a lot of people away. And if you do any Facebook comment digging, which I suggest you never ever do, you can see a lot of people have been offended like this. The most notable reading as such. As a Mexican American, this show is not funny. I believe this cartoon will create more hate from American children towards foreign immigrants, especially from south of the border. Even I thought some of the jokes were cheap, and honestly, this could be a valid argument, just not one made after a 2-minute clip. The other thing that could be a huge turnoff is the animation style. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of it. The characters are a little too much of a caricature for my taste. If it was a bit more like Lalo's comic strip, La Cucaracha, I'd be a little bit more on board. With that being said, the last cartoon I said that about was actually Bob's Burgers, which ended up being one of my more recent favorites. I'm actually really excited. We're not going to know what's going to happen until January 2016 when the show joins Fox's Sunday Funday lineup. Now, I'm personally rooting for the show because the last show with a full Latino cast and Latino writers was Cristela, and that got canceled recently. Cristela Alonso was the first Latina to create, produce, write, and star in her own primetime comedy, and that didn't last 2 seasons, so I'm just really disappointed in that. And Bordertown is yet another attempt to bring Latinos into primetime television, and I hope they accomplish that goal. Just the idea of having a great character with the name Gonzalez who's actually successful and not like a gang member or a cholo or this. Is more than enough to get me behind it. And with that said, I'm Sammy Gonzalez with Mexcellence.com. Thank you for watching, and as always, be Mexcellent. I'll see you next time. Hey, so if you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share if you will. Also, if you like the shirt I'm wearing, you can actually find it at MexcellenceShop.com along with many others. And for every shirt sold through the Mexcellence, one shirt gets donated to a child in need. So let's give back to the community, shall we? Also, one last thing, go ahead and visit all our other sites right here. We have SoundCloud where you can catch our weekly podcast, The Fantastic Voyage. And on YouTube right there where you can actually hit the subscribe button right there, or I forget where they moved it. On Facebook where you can like all of our stuff there and share it with your friends and family. And you can hit me up on Twitter at TheMexcellence to give me any questions, concerns, comments, or praise or anything you want. Alright folks, one last time, thank you for watching. That is it for me. I'm out.